And we're live. Welcome everybody to the Android Coliseum Hangout show. This is our 116th show. 116. There's not many people that live that long, but we've done 116 shows now. I cannot believe it. And it is May 27th, 2015. This week I am joined by our ever-loving cast here, our devout followers and writers here at Android Coliseum. I'll start from my right this week. We have Sylvain Labouris,
Bonsoir.
and we have Martin Gay,
Hello, hello.
and Cass Morrison.
Hey.
All right, everybody. So exciting times right now. I don't know what your Google Plus stream is looking at right now. Mine is non-stop Google I/O. All the people we know who are there showing off their pictures, hanging out in the swings, looking at all the confections. But we'll talk about the Google I/O in a second. But first, let's just talk about our corners of Canada and how things are going. Cass, how are things going in your neck of the woods?
Actually, pretty good. It's pretty dry here, but we are not anywhere near the fires and evacuation. We're just getting smoke.
Oh, has that started already? That's pretty early this year to start.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was reading an article that said that the jet stream is kind of stuck. So we have hot, dry weather, and Texas has rain.
Yeah.
And more rain.
It's been hot all week.
And it's been hot.
I keep hearing all my friends who are in Winnipeg and the issues they're going to have in Winnipeg this year again, the floods and stuff they're going to have that way.
Oh.
Well, I mean, that's always happened.
Oh, that's not good news for us here. Military.
I was going to say the military, that's going to be shipped off for that. I know Sylvain, you'll probably get a few friends of mine get to go hang out and do the bags for
Sandbagging.
Yes.
And Sylvain, you're pretty close to Cass there, and I know you had a fire
hour
nearby.
away. Yeah.
So now, Martin, how's things in Ottawa? Let's go almost the opposite direction.
It's still pretty warm. I mean, I can't complain. And definitely have the air conditioner running.
I almost got my air conditioner out the other day. I have one of those little window units versus.
Yeah, no, we have to, because just walking outside back and forth for 15 minutes and you're a bag of sweat.
Yeah.
Luckily, we all need a window shaker.
Yeah, first.
We haven't had it that hot here yet. We've had a couple nice days of rain. Today's supposed to be thunder and lightning. But, I mean, it's like, I think, Cass, you said it great last week. You said something about, and suddenly summer is here. Like, it was, next thing you know, we had summer. I was sweating it out outside, working in the yard, digging, as I call it, just scratching up the grass and everything. Yeah, allergies, all that kind of stuff.
Blisters from yard work.
Yeah, all the fun kind of stuff. So it's summertime. Our patterns of our Android behavior usually changed a little bit. So let's see what kind of news is coming up around as we get into summertime. So let's start off with this news. And again, if you are joining us online, you can visit us on hangouts.androidcoliseum.com. There is a live chat window going on there. I know Martin usually monitors that. And then there's the documents on there, and there's everything. You can watch the agenda. You can chat with us. You can send us messages. However you want to interact with us, because we'd love to have that interaction as we go through the show. So let's get into it. The first topic we're going to talk about is LG4 is in the house. Where is mine? Right here. I got too many of these phones now around the house. LG G4. I got to have mine. It's pretty nice. I kind of like it. I got to be in a special little phone call with LG to talk about the special features, and they covered a few things that maybe we didn't see in the keynote speech. Stuff like you can do the selfie, and if you put your hand up and you close it, it takes one selfie. And then if you do this, it does 4 selfies in a row. So kind of neat little things we talked a lot about. And I posted today an article about some of my initial thoughts about using the G4 that I have been for a couple days. And again, it's a little bigger, obviously, because of the leather back and because of the curve. A little taller. I'm finding that the smart experience that they have, their what do you call it, their user experience is a little sluggish, a little slower than the last year's version. So I'm not sure, but I put it on Google Now Launcher and it's actually just as fast. So not a lot of speed or pep difference, but definitely a lot of the camera. But again, you can read my couple day sort of review on the blog. And then what I was hoping to talk about today was to hearing about other users and how they're starting to get the G4, because we should have heard yesterday who were the consumer user experiences on the Try LG G4.ca experiment. So there should have been like, I think we said 50 people in Canada that were going to be getting it.
Was it not 35?
That was more than that. I thought that was more than it was like, because there's only 200 in the States, if I remember correctly, or something. Anyways, some number, maybe 35, that were going to get it. Some number of people that were going to get this. And it was going to be cool because, again, part of, not only do you get the phone to play with it for 4 weeks, but you get to do challenges and you get to sort of, try out all the features of it. And when they sent me mine, the challenges they sent me actually were very personalized. Why don't you try a selfie over at the Sleeping Giant, or why don't you get the Thunder Bay Pagoda? These little things, they actually took the time to understand where I was and said, suggested how the features would work for those scenarios. So pretty cool stuff. Again, I sort of wanted to see if anybody else, and I haven't heard if anybody else has been accepted into the program. So maybe they're just finalizing who and what and stuff like that. So anyways, that's the LG G4. If you have any questions with me whatsoever, by all means, give me a shout on Google Plus or Facebook or Twitter, and I'll try to make sure I answer them, because I have this for another 29 days to play with. And I'll be counting down every single last one. Oh, pauvre moi.
You have
Okay,
so many
so what if you
LG phones now.
I do. I have where's my...
Two G3s, the G4 to try.
The G3, got 2 of those, and then the G4. That's all the LGs I have. And then I had the Nexus 4. I should find out who bought the person I know who bought my Nexus 4 and buy it back from them, just so I can have it. Set it up. Kind of nice. Anyways. So going on, we talked earlier, just at the beginning of the show, about Google I/O and how it's basically starting already. So tomorrow morning, we're going to see, I think it's at 10 a.m. in the morning, they said, the first keynote speech is going on. So I think you guys were planning on doing, because I'm out of town tomorrow, or basically busy as all I can get out, I'm not going to be a chance to do much recap on it. But you guys are thinking of doing a hangout to talk about maybe a recap of the day of the show, or a recap of the day. What are you guys expecting, do you think? Just quickly, what are you thinking you're expecting to see out of Google I/O over the next 2 days?
Well, they're
Hopefully
supposed to talk. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, buddy.
They're supposed to talk, I think, about the new photo app and the new features coming up with it. So I think that's interesting.
I'm looking forward to hearing more about
Sorry?
Android M and a lot more of the wearable platform as well.
And material design, I heard. A lot more of it.
Yeah, how material design is going to go deeper. I mean, M, and again, I'm always upset when I see M be announced in May and not released till October. I mean, we're not in the iOS world where you get teased for 7 months, right? I'd rather.
You know what?
Yeah,
They're
I'd
looking
rather
at a
just give it-
release not this year for M. They're looking at next year for M.
Mm-hmm.
For the
Yeah.
public.
They're releasing the preview again for developers.
Yeah.
I heard. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know. I would get. Do you think having a preview for developers preview worked last year? Because, I mean, as much as it wasn't as glitchy as other releases have been, it was pretty glitchy.
Yes.
Yeah, but it was a lot of deep changes too. So I think that they did benefit, especially since they changed the whole file storage system or
The compiler.
file. Yeah, file. I'm really tired, so English will be my 400th language tonight.
No worry. And it's funny because, like, a friend of mine who has a Nexus 5, and he was just texting me today. He's like, "Oh, I finally got 5.1.1, so it's kind of nice to have that." And the random reboots have stopped, but now I'm having LTE drop a fair bit. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, well." And so I googled it for him, and yeah, there's a small subset of users of it for whatever reason that it'll drop LTE. And then the only way to get it is to put it into airplane mode or turn it back on and off or whatever. So kind of weird. I mean, I don't know, kind of weird. Martin, your comments on this?
Yeah, I mean, with the venue of Android M, I mean, we're looking at getting a lot more battery performance enhancement and overall performance of the operating system, even more so.
Or so we hear. That's what
Yeah.
we put.
Yeah.
People who are pontificating upon this are saying that's what we should be seeing in Android M. But yeah, we should definitely hear more about Google Plus and the Google Plus and the Google's Streams and the Photos services and what they're talking about and how that's split now into two different teams. We'll probably see a lot more about APIs and SDKs. Android Auto is going to be a big thing. They're going to probably talk a fair bit about material design. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I always love this show. This is the one time really Google gets to shine. And like you said, Cass, it's not really a you and I kind of thing. It's more the developers get a chance to say, here's what we could do with this, and we can roll with it, right? So, anyway, moving along, we have some Lollipop updates recently. So Samsung released a Lollipop update to not only the Galaxy Alpha, which was their 4.7-inch little metal phone, but also the Galaxy Tab S, which Cass has. Let me talk about that, Cass.
Yeah, it was pretty funny because I read a thing that said, yes, Lollipop is rolling out to the Tab S today. So I thought, oh, update. And you know how often that doesn't happen. And it went, oh, you have an update. So I really like that when you hit update and it goes, okay. So I did download it. It was about a gig, and it's a really nice update. Samsung, I know there's a lot of hate out there for Samsung, but they are, just like you like LG, Ryan, they are my favorite OEM, and I know when they do an OS update, that it will be reliable. And sure enough, this has been reliable. They never do anything hugely different from what you had already because that's what you're used to. And it just runs. It was smooth before, and now it runs smoother. It has some really nice animations that either it's running faster or it just makes it seem like it's running faster. But some really nice features. I've really enjoyed using it so far. Actually, one thing that's a bit different, again, like I use the stock browser because it's optimized for Samsung, and the stock browser is, again, even faster than it was before. So
I have to admit, using the stock browser in the S6 is much faster than Chrome. And especially in websites I know are pretty slow, it actually turns away pretty quickly. Now, Sylvain, you recently got a Lollipop update for your Nexus 7, and it brought it back to life, you were saying.
Thank goodness. And I wrote an article this week about it. Yeah, it's back from the dead. Absolutely. I couldn't even read magazines anymore. And I was really sad because that's the reason I bought that Nexus 7 for. Mm-hmm. So now, yeah, it's back. So it just proves how bad Lollipop is or was. You know, they had so much bugs to fix. My gosh.
It's funny, and some devices had no problem. Like when I went from my KitKat to Lollipop in my G3, no issues whatsoever. And again, people will say that Lollipop had some issues, and it definitely had some issues in some cases. But I mean, I remember going to Jelly Bean on certain Note devices was pretty terrible, and you know, all those kind of 4.1. I had so many phones coming in going, oh, I did the update, now it screwed this up, and just meant I had to do a reset or there's always little things along the way. So.
It's a very inconsistent OS.
Well, that's what happens when we have. I think what was the recent count? Something about. I think within even Canada, I think we have something about 25 different devices you could purchase over the counter.
Only 25. I would have thought it was more.
I want to say more, but I'd have to check out databases.androidcoliseum.com to see the actual number. But I mean, exactly. That's the point. Is that we have an opportunity to try multiple devices. If you don't like the iPhone 6 or the 6 Plus, well then you're SOL. You have to use one of those two, right? Those are the only devices. But anyways, moving along here. So in terms of some apps and how they work on our devices, one of the apps people really love lately is Spotify, and Spotify has been getting a bit of change and look and what they actually do. So, Martin, want to talk about that?
Yeah, Spotify's moving a bit away from the casual streaming that we were used to, and more towards a concierge service, much like Songza was before Google acquired them. And they're aiming to bring much more material to Spotify: podcasts, live radio, live streaming, not only just those pre-recorded shows, but actually live radio shows that people may be broadcasting online and whatnot. So hopefully Spotify does deliver as they are planning to, and it's going to be interesting to see what changes are going to be coming shortly to that application on Android. I mean, Songza is still the best concierge app so far, but let's see if Spotify will be able to cast a big shadow over that.
Okay. My page here. Okay, so that's Spotify. Be interesting to see what they do with that. Now, in terms of other releases still coming around, OnePlus, so our resident OnePlus One user, Sylvain, who's been testing out the ROMs and testing out what he likes, and we recently heard mention that potentially OnePlus could be having the OnePlus 2 being announced on June 1st. They had some prepared to shake things up announcement coming out saying on June 1st. So it's interesting to see that what might come out. And like again, so I want to ask you, Sylvain. So as a OnePlus One user, what would you sort of expect to sort of see or come out of a OnePlus 2 announcement?
Well, if I look at the specs, I'm not sure what they're shaking here because there's nothing going on. I mean, you look at it. It's the same 16, 64 gigs, 3 gigs of RAM, so nothing more on there. Same size of phone, same everything except I guess the Snapdragon 810, but it's already running really smoothly. So yeah, I'm not buying it for sure.
Okay.
What's out of it, I don't know. Like I said earlier this week, I'll wait for the next one.
Yeah, but what would you want out of it? Like, what are some of the failings you saw, or what do you think they could improve on from the 1 to the 2? Because I mean, the biggest feature was the fact that the 2 came with 64 gigs of RAM or storage, 3 gigs of RAM for a pretty decent price point.
Yes.
What would make you want to ditch the 1 for the 2?
A better camera
Mm.
for low light. Like I said this week, the S6 and the G4 is there. That's the bare minimum now.
They'd have to go to a pretty big name brand to get like a Sony, and I think the OnePlus One actually used a Sony Exmor sensor, did it not? The same sensor the Sony Z2 had, if I remember correctly, or a similar, not the G lens, but a similar Exmor lens. Anyways, I can't remember. But yeah, I mean, I gotta admit, having used the S6 today, the G4 the past little while, doing some of my little challenges there, the camera is very nice. So anyway, who had a comment? Somebody had a comment.
I do.
Martin.
Yeah. So when it comes to the OnePlus One, I mean, if they want to get a serious camera on there, like Sylvain says, a better camera would probably work better. They are going to need to drop some serious cash on those actual camera producers, because else they're not going to succeed on the market for getting a better camera.
Oh, don't say that, nothing. You're breaking my heart.
But it's true.
Yes.
But even having the better sensor doesn't guarantee anything. I mean, I'm sure that this Sony phone has
a G lens
sensor, and it is not comparable at all to even what my S4 was. So that's 2 years old.
Is that the compact?
Yep.
Wow,
really?
My God.
Because the camera pictures coming out of the Z2 is so far almost better than the actual Nikon DSLR I have.
Must be the type of pictures you take. I'm just not impressed with the speed.
So that's could be just the app itself versus. Have you tried changing the app, like changing the Google app, and see if it's any different? Because to be honest with you, I use the G3. I use the Google camera app because I just love it. It's a little easier. When I use the G4, I'm going to have to start using their app because I want all those manual features and whatnot. So
See,
And you're gonna use a
I
tablet.
use my tablet instead of the phone.
Wow, that's saying something.
Yeah.
It's that bad, eh?
I'm willing to look like an idiot.
Like the grandparent at a piano recital.
Can't lift my arms any higher.
Okay, I love that one. Okay, so 1 plus 2.
I worked out
Potentially.
yesterday.
Yeah, 1 plus 2 is don't buy.
So Sylvain is saying don't buy it without even hearing about it. So,
That's right.
but it's again new company. We'll see what they do. You never know. I'm always rooting for the underdog myself. But anyways, moving along. So speaking of underdogs, we do have 2 giveaways. We are underdogs ourselves, a little site. We have 2 giveaways in the site right now: an S6 case and a View Solo. Right now up for grabs. So go to the website. We made it really easy. I have, I think, 9 ways you can enter. You can do 1. You can do all 9 to get your votes in. By all means, you guys really appreciate it if you would just go and do 1. Some great items to give away. We're hoping to have another after that, and then hoping another after that, and then hopefully another after that. So please, the more you enter our giveaways, the more essentially hits we get, the more likely we can actually get some of these companies to start sending us more things to give away. So go check that out. Martin, the Z3 Plus. So Cass was just talking about the Z3 Compact, and the Z3 Plus was announced. Let's hear about the Z3 Plus.
The Z3 Plus was announced, and it's basically what we've seen that was announced in China, the Z4, but in the rest of the world, it's going to be called the Z3 Plus. The noted highlight of the Z3 Plus was the Snapdragon 810, the display that was slightly modified or changed for a crisper image or higher resolution. It's still 1080p, but they've done something to it. And the unibody standard style that we've seen, but they made modifications to it. And apparently the magnetic charging port is gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And no wireless charging either.
Eee.
They should call it the Z3 minus.
Apparently and the reason behind removing that mag port was apparently it's not being used.
But so all the times that I'm using it, I'm not actually using it, or I'm the only one.
Well, I mean, remember the Note
there wasn't a high
3
percentage
that
of
weird
usage.
plug. Remember that had the Note 3 had that weird plugged X thing, and then they went from the Note 4. They got rid of it because nobody was using that, right? Because it had the extra fast charging or extra slim port or whatever it was. So I can sort of see that, because to be honest with you, I mean, the majority of the people are not really going to be buying accessories. They buy a case for it, they're not buying. So I can sort of see that, but still,
I can't.
I would not live without the Mac.
Stupid little door is ridiculous. Why wouldn't you use? I don't get that.
That's weird.
And that was really one of the major noted changes, that there's no mag port connected on it, and they're highly recommended people to simply just use their micro USB port to connect and charge their phone. So
but it's still IP68 proof, so that's kind of nice.
Yeah, but that begs to the question is, why are they coming out with a dock charger for it?
Oh, and then that's right. The dock charger has a USB.
From what I can tell, like if you look at the port, the USB micro USB port is going to be at the top of the phone, but your dock is going to be.
It's in the bottom, I think. I just had to pull it up. It's on the bottom.
Or they might have changed it on the. They might have changed it, but I think it was on the render. I saw it was on the side too. So it's going to make it awkward.
On the side, yes, it is.
Oh dear.
I'm looking
dear.
On the Verge's site, and they have it on the bottom.
Okay. I Verge, so.
But yeah. Anyway, so yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
That's going to be a miss.
But then again, I guess what happens when you have a 6-month turnover cycle? I mean, you really can't change a lot of features on it, right?
Exactly.
But you can take away the useful stuff, no problem.
So maybe with the Z4, the actual.
My recommendation: skip it entirely. Don't even look at it. Don't even go buy it.
So
we have a second don't buy tonight.
Do not buy.
That's 2 for 2.
Which Martin, you were saying don't buy for the Z3 in general because you were saying the Z2 is just as good.
Exactly. The Z3 Plus is still the only real difference is the processor. And even here, with the processor I have in the Z2, I see no difference from having another Z3 beside me and playing with it. There was no difference. I had them both in my hands for a week. I could not see the difference. Even the benchmarks were exactly the same or almost the same. So there's really no point.
Okay, so we're running out of time here, so let's quickly go through the next couple little bits. Cortana on Android was announced, or essentially Microsoft will be looking to bring their open that for Android. You guys would be interested in having another Google Now competitor on your phone, or is Google Now enough? Do you guys even use Google Now?
Enough for me.
But Cortana picked all the Oscar winners. Isn't that so smart?
I don't watch the Oscars.
Neither do I. But anyways, so that's potentially coming out if you cared about it. The last thing we're going to talk about is that there's been a lot of hoopla about this thing called a double cohort. Now, when I think of double cohort, I think about several years ago when Ontario got rid of grade 13. And so what happened is the grade 13 graduates and the grade 12 graduates all both graduated the same year. So they have this thing. So right now, the CRTC is mandating that the 3-year plans are ended as of June 2nd, or was it 3rd? I can't remember.
3rd.
3rd. So as of June 3rd, if you were in a 3-year plan and it would have ended, but you would have had a year left and it would have technically been 2 years as of June 3rd, you could end that plan as of June 3rd and not have to pay any extra fees beyond that. So there's a double cohort. So people who were within that ending their 3-year plan, or they're in a 3-year plan, but it could technically end as of that point in June 3rd. So it's kind of brought a lot of people thinking that there may be a lot of people leaving their carriers. And so what Cass, you were talking about is how can we sort of use this to our advantage? So your thoughts?
Well, I am one of those people. It was if you entered into a 3-year contract before June 3rd, then you can break that contract. You don't have to pay any. You don't have to pay out your phone price if you got a deal with your phone, and you don't have to pay out any contract change price. So I did buy an S4, and it has $165 left to pay on it. So as of June 3rd, I will not have that. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to change my plan around because Fred is on a different plan that's a little better than mine, and we'll be able to smoosh it together. I'll be bringing my own phone. So I think it's good for people if they've been waiting for a chance to change, but I also think a lot of people don't pay attention to that. So I'm not sure how much, I really don't have a feel for how much people are going to make that change, try to make that change. What do you guys think? Do you feel like people, it's a pent-up thing?
I think what's going to happen is you're starting to notice, and I don't know about you guys, but I've been getting Bell sending me once a month for the past couple months saying, hey, if you want to get a new plan right now, we'll waive your rest of your subsidy fees. We'll get rid of it. And basically I'd be getting a thing and realizing that, well, technically as of June, I don't have to pay any subsidy fees anyways because I'm beyond, I wouldn't have to worry about that. So they're like, oh, we'll waive your $100 subsidy fee. Oh, we'll waive your $75 subsidy fee. I'm like, well, you waive it anyways if I wait another couple of days. So I think there's a lot of people who are sort of might be getting tricked into this idea that, sounds like a great deal, right? But they're not really paying attention to that big thing. Like the same thing I've noticed a lot of times in stores. People aren't really watching that per month price. They're really looking at what that sticker price on the phone is. So you're saying I can get this for free. Oh, you can get this for free, but you got to get this package. Oh, okay. Right? So I think people aren't really paying attention, and I think it's a missed opportunity, like you're saying, that they could use it to try to leverage and try to get a better deal. But I think, Martin, what you were saying in the beginning of the show, or before the show, we were talking about how technically it's almost like a bit of racketeering. They're all kind of going to sit down and say, all right, guys,
it's just like it's like what always happens. And it's just going to happen more and more as we get to fewer and larger companies. They don't have to price fix. they know what competitive is.
Yeah.
So
Competitive is they all sit around and go like, $10 a gig now? Yeah, $10 a gig. We're all gonna charge $10 a gig, right?
No.
Capiche? Capiche.
the thing is, like I remember in Vancouver when they tried a gas station tried to bring in really low prices, and they said the same thing. They said we're not part of that deal. They brought in low prices. People didn't go there anyways. So it's a line you have to walk as a corporation. Unfortunately, it's a pretty high line for the rest of us, but
Because we are paying the high fees.
yep.
We pay one of the highest fees in the world for mobile service, which is crazy. And I'm kind of concerned to sort of see what really comes out of this.
Apparently, Canadians can afford it. That's what they keep saying.
Well, and especially in Alberta, where we get paid 25% more than anywhere else, apparently because we're greedy. And that's why that premier isn't there anymore.
Well, let's not get political. We can't solve those problems. We can talk the Android problems, but right now. All right, so tell us your thoughts, guys. Are you looking to change your plan because of this new thing? Are you looking to get a better deal out of your thing? Because I know Martin has some tips and stuff on how to get a better deal. I've put some links in there to talk about. CBC had a great article. Globe Mail had a really great article in terms of what the impacts are. But now is your time to really shop around, and you might have that opportunity to do that. So, but really understand your options. And Martin keeps posting Wind. Take a look at Wind. If there's an opportunity, it seems to be the winner. We should really
right now in Alberta, check out Wind. There's a really great price detail for anybody that needs a new carrier. Unlimited coverage everywhere, roaming, everything included. Just check it out.
$50.
I'll have to take a look at that. So anyways, we should get sponsored by Wind every time we say. In the meanwhile, we have on the website some reviews up. I had that case that I reviewed up. That's up for grabs. We have the Tilt View Solo case that was up for wire charger. That was up on a review on the site. Also up for grabs for a giveaway. I also have in my hand the Galaxy S6 Edge, which I'm going to give my thoughts hopefully by Friday before I leave my trip. I have the G4 in-house, and I'm going to be reading that up the next month. I'll be doing sort of maybe some weekly updates on how I think. But otherwise, that's the reviews. Any other last comments or thoughts before you go? I think Sylvain? That you? No, I'm on the wrong part of this thing. Anyways, no.
Good to go.
We're good to go. Okay, guys, I know it's a little bit past our 10:30 time, but there's been so much to talk about. And I really appreciate my panel here, Cass, Martin, Sylvain, you guys joining here on the show. Final thoughts? Cass,
there.
You look like you're ready to talk.
I'm drawing a blank. I'm actually really looking forward to looking into the different phone plans, because I am eligible, and it would be nice to have like unlimited long distance in Canada at least, and call display included in my plan. So
wait, you use your phone to call people?
Yes I do.
No way.
And I have a landline, because there are two people that live in our house, and sometimes people want to talk to either of us.
Anyway,
most of my minutes are free because they're outside of the thing. So.
Yeah. All right, Martin, your last thoughts, there.
No last thoughts, but if you have questions concerning your mobile plans, come and see me. I might have an answer for you.
All right, Sylvain.
I'm on Kudo, prepaid, so sorry. All those changes and plans, I'm like, I pay $15 a month, and that's it.
All right, guys. Really appreciate you hanging out, and you out there who's tuned in. By all means, if you have any thoughts or concerns or questions, we'd love you to join in the conversation. I said it many times before, and I keep saying it again. Android is a community, and a community only happens with conversation, and we appreciate you sharing in this conversation with us. So we will see you guys next week. That'll be the first one in June, right? This will be June 3rd.
Already?
That's 3rd. All right, so for 117, getting ready for summertime, guys. And we'll see you all then. Ciao.
Adios.